7 offers, billions of dollars. A promise to transform a small Caribbean nation into a global powerhouse. Donald Trump walked in with deals so big they sounded unreal, like visa-free travel to America, control over oil riches, military protection, mega infrastructure, and agricultural empires. It was the kind of package most countries would sign before the ink even dried. But Guyana didn't just hesitate. It slammed the door shut. No to the billions. No to the military base. No to Trump's vision of reshaping an entire nation. Washington insiders are calling it one of the boldest rejections ever handed to a U.S. president. But why would one of the fastest-growing economies on Earth reject the deal of the century? What secret reason pushed Guyana to risk angering America? And is this the start of a new power shift in the Caribbean? In this video, let's break it down because it changes everything in the Caribbean. The first offer Trump gave was about something many Guyanese have dreamed of for decades: visa-free entry into the United States. No long embassy lines, no rejection letters, no broken family reunions, just open travel. On paper, it sounded like a gift that could change lives overnight, but behind the promise was a deal that cut deep into Guyana's sovereignty. In exchange, Guyana would have to accept strict deportation protocols, allowing undocumented Guyanese in America to be deported within 48 hours, with no time for appeals. It would also require Guyana to share biometric data with the U.S. Homeland Security and upgrade its border systems at its own expense to meet American standards. President Irfan Ali's administration looked past the shiny headline and saw the hidden strings. Sharing biometric data with a foreign power meant handing over sensitive control of citizens' movements, and accepting deportations at that speed risked flooding Guyana with returnees who had no homes, no jobs, and no support system, creating a domestic crisis overnight. For many citizens, visa-free travel was tempting, but for the government, trading away privacy and control wasn't worth the cost. The second offer raised even bigger stakes. Trump wanted a U.S. military base right in Guyana, a base that would give Washington strategic reach deep into South America, close to Venezuela and Brazil. Billions in defense spending, advanced military training programs, and thousands of jobs came with it. To some, it sounded like security and development rolled into one. But to Guyana's leadership, it looked like walking into a geopolitical minefield. The country already has a sensitive border dispute with Venezuela, and placing an American base next door would inflame tensions and potentially turn Guyana into a front line in a superpower rivalry. It would also signal to China and Russia, both growing players in the region, that Guyana had chosen sides. For a small nation trying to balance relationships with multiple powers, becoming America's military outpost was too dangerous. Rejecting this offer was not just about avoiding conflict, it was about protecting neutrality and preventing Guyana from being dragged into battles that were never its own. Then came the third offer, focused on Guyana's crown jewel: oil. With ExxonMobil already drilling offshore, Trump's team wanted to lock in exclusive U.S. bidding rights for new oil blocks, along with American-built refineries, pipelines, and fast-track financing. It was packaged as a chance to transform Guyana into a regional energy hub backed by one of the world's strongest economies. But Guyana's government has learned quickly how power works when oil is involved. It wanted to diversify partnerships, not give away control of its resources to a single country. There were also concerns about environmental oversight, fair revenue sharing, and the political leverage that comes when one superpower controls your energy infrastructure. Accepting the deal would have meant quick profits, but long-term dependency. The Ali administration decided it was too high a price to pay for development, choosing instead to keep options open and maintain control of its future. Before we continue further, tell us, are you enjoying the video? If yes, Please like and share the video and subscribe to our channel to watch more videos on the latest news stories on geopolitics, economics, and current affairs impacting your lives. The fourth offer Trump made aimed straight at Guyana's untapped interior lands. He pitched a vision of turning the country into the Caribbean's breadbasket, powered by American agricultural giants like Cargill and Archer Daniels Midland. On the surface, it looked revolutionary. High-tech farming, modern irrigation systems, and a chance to dominate regional food markets. But the fine print told another story. Decades-long land leases, tax exemptions for U.S. firms, and exclusive export rights. For local farmers, it was terrifying. They feared displacement, seeing their ancestral lands and livelihoods swallowed by massive foreign agribusiness operations. Opposition leaders called it neocolonialism with a business logo, warning that accepting the deal would effectively outsource food production for half a century. That meant less autonomy over local agriculture and a future where domestic self-sufficiency could collapse, replaced by dependency on foreign-controlled mega-farms. Guyana walked away, choosing to protect its land and farmers over a quick influx of foreign capital. The fifth offer was arguably the hardest to refuse. A massive U.S.-funded infrastructure blitz, a kind of Marshall Plan for Guyana. Trump's team promised highways, railways, fiber optic internet, and even a deep-water port, projects that could modernize the nation in a few short years. But there was a catch, and it was a big one. Every contract would go exclusively to U.S. firms, and Guyana would have to cut ties with China's Belt and Road Initiative, one of its largest infrastructure partners. That would mean scrapping existing projects and sending a clear message to Beijing that Guyana had chosen sides. For a country carefully balancing multiple foreign relationships, that was too much risk. President Irfan Ali has championed a multi-aligned foreign policy, one where no single superpower dominates. Saying yes to this deal would have undone years of that delicate diplomacy. So again, Guyana said no, choosing independence in foreign policy over a rapid, one-sided transformation. The sixth proposal took this pressure even further. Trump's team explicitly asked Guyana to cut China out entirely, asking to end Huawei telecom contracts, cancel Chinese port deals, and reduce political engagement with Beijing. In exchange, Washington offered trade perks, aid, and expedited visas for top officials. But this was the kind of deal that would have permanently altered Guyana's global standing, publicly aligning it against one of its key investors and risking economic retaliation from China. Guyana's leaders refused, sticking to their strategy of maintaining balanced relationships with all major powers, including the US, China, Canada, and the EU. For a small but growing nation, being caught in a great power rivalry was far more dangerous than turning down short-term perks. The seventh and final offer focused on immigration and came with a cold, bureaucratic edge, a rapid deportation accord. It required Guyana to accept U.S. deportees within 48 hours, bypassing traditional appeal processes and giving deported individuals almost no time to settle affairs or challenge their removal. Critics in Guyana immediately raised red flags, warning that such a deal could flood the country with vulnerable people, many of whom had lived in the U.S. for decades and no longer had family or housing back home. Human rights advocates warned it could trigger social crises, while offering almost no direct benefit to Guyana itself. The government listened and refused, prioritizing domestic stability and human dignity over a politically expedient immigration agreement. You see, each of Trump's offers had immediate benefits, like visa-free travel, billions in investments, and security upgrades, but all came with strings that threatened to erode Guyana's sovereignty. President Ali, backed by opposition parties and civil society, made it clear: no foreign power would dictate Guyana's economic or diplomatic path. This decision was also cultural. Guyana's identity, shaped by a painful colonial past, resists any form of external domination, whether economic or military. Trump's approach, critics argued, repackaged old colonial control in flashy business terms. And with Guyana's economy booming from oil revenue, it had the confidence to walk away. As one senior advisor put it, "We no longer have to trade sovereignty for survival." Now these rejections have implications far beyond Georgetown. They challenge the traditional assumption that small nations must accept whatever superpowers offer. In a region where Chinese influence is rising, Guyana's refusal to align exclusively with Washington signals a new era of multi-alignment. But there are risks. U.S. visa approval rates for Guyanese nationals have already dropped by 15%, and some analysts see early signs of quiet American retaliation. Yet, Guyana's example may inspire others. If one of the hemisphere's smallest nations can say no to a superpower and survive, what's stopping others? Trump's offers were bold, but Guyana's rejection was bolder. 7 proposals, each with enormous upside, were turned down in favor of sovereignty and independence. To some, this is heroic, a sign of a maturing state unwilling to trade freedom for short-term gains. To others, it's reckless, a lost opportunity to accelerate development and cement ties with one of the world's most powerful economies. But one truth is undeniable. Guyana has placed a bet on itself. It is choosing to chart its own path, diversify partnerships, and leverage its oil wealth without becoming a pawn in someone else's geopolitical chess game. Whether this gamble pays off or backfires is yet to be seen. But one thing is certain. The shockwaves from Guyana's decision are echoing across the Caribbean, Washington and Beijing alike. What do you think? Did Guyana do the right thing by rejecting Trump's offers? What secret reasons do you think Guyana had for rejecting all 7 offers? In the comments section below, share your thoughts on whether Guyana could benefit from what Trump offered, while ensuring sovereignty is not sold. Do you want to watch more videos like this one? If yes, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon next to it. We bring the latest news stories on geopolitics, economics, changing world order, and current affairs. Things you need to stay informed. Thanks for watching, and until the next video, stay tuned.